Hey guys, welcome back. Well, it's finally got here. Winter has finally arrived. Look at all this friggin' snow. Started yesterday afternoon, I don't know, probably 5 o'clock or so. Kind of started off pretty light, on and off overnight, and continued throughout today. So, giving some of my older cows a little bit of grain, helping maintain through this cold. These are an older group that I purchased, and they're a little on the thin side. A lot of people call them coal cows or whey cows, but I mean, they're bred, so that's what I'm gambling on. Whew, it is cold. Only about, I don't know, 20 degrees, and we came in, unloaded some grain for these cows, and unrolled a few more bales so they got something to lay on. Now I gotta unhook the bucket so we can put it back in the heated shop. Only about, I don't know, 20 degrees, and we came in, unloaded some grain for these cows, and unrolled a few more bales so they got something to lay on. Now I gotta unhook the bucket so we can put it back in the heated shop. Kind of a pretty simple system on these Case IH / quickie loaders. It's nice that the seals aren't leaking now. Okay, now we gotta go ahead and go and hook that and put the stabber back on. He knows what I mean. Alright, when we get back out to my house, we're gonna go check on them baby pigs. Them guys are getting huge. Man, it is freaking cold this week. You can see I got spit sickles and stuff stuck to my beard. Oh man, I think the high today was about 0. And I've been hunkered out in the shop trying to keep it warm. Got it up to about 60 degrees, so it's pleasantly warm in there. We just gave these guys in here some bedding. Some of that oat hay from the summer. They're having a good time digging around in that stuff. And she'll get it moved around where the sow wants it. Boy, you can see my breath in here. They're sure getting big, ain't they? What do you think, Cameron?
Yeah.
Good gracious. They're just a little over a month old. But they, I don't know, probably tripled in weight since birth. About the size of a, I'd say probably like a, I don't know, 20-pound dog, 25-pound dog, probably about what they're weighing. Look at them, they're just, what is this stuff? Just chewing away. Well, that's about it for me outside today. What do you think, Cameron? You ready to go to the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, this cold is for the birds. Chickens are all good, speaking of birds. I gotta check on their water. Means they don't have a heated pan. I only give them as much as they can drink, and then we dump the rest, or it'll be frozen in the pan, and can't water them if the pan's froze. There we go. Alright, see you guys tomorrow. So, I don't know if I'm glutton for punishment or what's going on in my head, but we took on another project tractor to replace a clutch. These aren't my forte, but I thought, what the hell, we can help a guy out and we can learn a little bit while we're at it. Didn't have a book, so I had to wait on the book to get here. Got an IT manual for this thing. Those are generally speaking, pretty good books for trying to repair stuff. Anyway, first thing to do when you're worried about a clutch on a John Deere 4440 in particular, that's what this one is. You've got to take some pressure readings down here on it'll be on the left side, so right beside your step, you got three different plugs down there. One's for your clutch pressure reading, you got a PTO reading, and then a PTO brake reading. And they're going to be mostly about the same kind of pressure. They're going to fluctuate a little bit with RPM. Not a lot, like 20 pounds on RPM, but So the clutch pressure is reading a little bit light. Of course, it's, you know, we didn't change the filters. We didn't go down and check the relief valve, and we didn't have the shop warmed up. Hydraulic oil wasn't, you know, all the way up to temp. But keep that in respect. It's within like 5 pounds of where it should be. That's not really concerning. The PTO reading, on the other hand, is reading like 80 pounds below what it should be. That's pretty alarming. So this thing, it starts and runs, it moves, but when you activate the clutch, you can't shift it. It just grinds like a bastard. And that's what it was brought in for, was the clutch needing replaced. He also said, yeah, check out the PTO. So the PTO is, I don't know. We got to check that out. But on these, they're kind of like International. Both the two are activated inside the flywheel. However, the PTO clutch on an International is going to be back there in the rear end, where this one is right here in the flywheel. This one activates on the rearward half of the I guess the flywheel clutch, whatever. Anyway, they're just a little bit different. So we're going to take the opportunity to learn on this thing and get a little bit of knowledge working on this guy. But we're going to read the book. We got to strip all this side stuff off, battery trays and steps, and get the hood moved, to get obviously the stacks out of the way. So we've got quite a bit yet to do, and the stands are sitting up there just waiting for us. So we're going to get chomping here and see you guys in a little bit. Well, we're going to have to put this on pause. I just had someone call, said that there's cows out. So I don't know if they're mine or whose they are. We're going to have to go check it out. Yep, these my cows. I got them all ready. Plucked it up. One lonely one, she didn't want to follow the rest of them. Yeah, they're just out for a stroll, I guess. I don't know what they's doing. Must have licked the chain and got the gate open. It's the only thing I can figure out, because everything was shut when we left the other day. Come on. Well, come on, gate, get away. Hey, Bull, what are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? Yeah, put your head in there and break my bucket, you big butt head. Yeah, all right, come on. All right, now since I'm out, I guess I'll go down and get me a bottle of pop. I'm all out at my house. Man, they got shit all over the road up here. Oh boy, this thing has got some issues. I was told it had a clutch recently put in it when this guy acquired it. We're not going to say who put it in, but there's some tomfoolery going on here. So you're supposed to pull out the hex shaft out the rear end, and that is in that plug right there. So we pulled that plug out, and it was sitting flush. Grabbed a hold of it with a pair of pliers, give a yank, and she says no. So we just left it in, because it was clear back tight. You know, we couldn't get it to move. But as we split, she came out a little ways. I put these long dowel bolts in so that it wouldn't just drop off. Got her separated a little ways and pushed it back out of the way so it wouldn't drop on it. But take a look at that. So yeah, that's pretty fucking scooched. And the only way I can figure that would have happened, if they would have hammered that sucker in from the rear, it'd be all, you know, chattered and banged. But that's clearly one solid push. So what I'm guessing that guy did was he was mating the tractor back together, and it just wouldn't quite seat all the way. So, I mean, with solid push marks like that, it's like he pulled the tractor together with the bolts, and it just peeled that corner right up. So obviously that's shaft's gonna have to get replaced. Then we was looking at the permaclutch. Immediately I noticed all the discs were super floppy and loose. I thought, well, shit, okay, so we just pulled it off. We know we got it pulled off. Have a look at it. So you buzz out all these bolts that go around the outside, and this thing's fucking heavy. I'd recommend 2 people trying to do this. But immediately, very first bolt was this guy. Okay, so she stretched. That would explain why the clutches are all so fucking loose, but I don't know if that's supposed to have a grade 5 in it. That's definitely not a deer bolt, definitely not a factory one. This one over here is the closest to what it's supposed to be, and I would say all of them are stretched other than this one, but this one's even a grade 5, so I can't blame it on those being different. But anyway, all those are stretched, but that one, I think it's probably the right length. You can see that's every one of them has got some clearance at the end of it. That one is very extreme, good lord. So that's what we got. We got I don't know what you're doing that for, Viv. It's clean, it runs in oil. Yeah, and of course now that I don't have the bolts in it, it's you know, loose as a goose. But Jesus, wow, the split really wasn't that difficult. There's not really that much stuff up there that you have to disconnect. I mean, your fuel tank's up there, so you don't have to worry about fuel lines. Throttle, it was pretty, I mean, I don't know why they put it on the block side, but whatever, we got it. Oh, and these 2 bolts up here, they were just barely started in the transmission housing. They were sticking out like about that far. When I looked up in there, they were sticking way out like that. Oh, gee whiz, the guy didn't even freaking tighten them up. And the bottom 2 bolts that go into the pan are missing. They're not even around. I don't know where they're at. But anyway, there it is. It's apart. Now we got to go figure out what we're going to do for getting this thing tuned back up. We're going to have to split that puppy all apart to get all those, I guess, get all the clutches inspected and make sure they're okay or not. And I'm assuming they're kind of smoked. So yeah, I suppose. Kids been working on 4-wheelers in here, so we got projects going all over the place. It's kind of being a mess, but that's the way it goes. So I don't have the special tooling to do this, and I'm not going to acquire on them because they're freaking expensive, and I don't plan on doing these anymore than this time. So I'm going to take this pressure plate assembly, and I'll go ahead and get the flywheel off of there and take it to someone that has the tool that can adjust that puppy and get it where it needs to be. Then we'll bring it back and we'll take the pressure plate assembly back off. We'll reinstall the flywheel, and then, you know, with it marked and adjusted and everything, we can just set that pressure plate assembly back up on there. This is all an oil bath system. She runs in fluid all the time. It's supposed to be a really good setup with, you know, with hydraulic, you know, actually applying the clutch and then lubing all the discs and stuff. So this is going to have to get replaced. This gasket is not ripped at all, but we're going to throw a new one in. And of course, while we have that flywheel off of there, we're going to put a new rear main in there as well. I don't think anything's the matter with this. Everything's looking fine back here, so that's probably fine as far as that goes. Obviously, we got to get all the gunk crap out of there. Depending on whoever I take this thing to, if they say I need to pull that pressure regulating valve off of there, do some air tests, we very well can. We can do some pressure tests on this puppy, make sure everything's activating right. But as far as that goes, I don't see any need to. I'm not hearing any abnormal clunking in those gears next back or whatever, so probably don't need to go any farther. I'm betting you $100 that the guy that put this together caused this thing to malfunction. So yeah, those bolts being stretched and wrong and squeezing it together, screwing up that little hex drive, that's caused our problem. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy's not supposed to be that loose, because all them discs are sitting in there flopping around And this thing's freaking heavy. I can't hardly show you right now, but it just needs to go to someone that knows how to set them, because I don't have the tool and I'm not going to acquire that for a one-off job. So, all right, guys, this video is getting pretty lengthy. Be certain and hit us that subscribe button right there. And you got any questions or comments, you can certainly hit me up down below. And don't forget to hit the share. And like I said before, a lot of you guys are watching these, and it helps to have a little assistance, you know, kind of a little guidance along the way. Never hurts. So you guys hit that share and like and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time. Till then, catch you later.